regard to asset recovery. Ito mga government, parang it's a whole of government approach ang nakikita natin dito kung saan magtutulungan ang bawat ahensya on how we can recover the assets that were in a way are in possession of people who might be responsible for these anomalous road projects or infrastructure projects. Narinig naman din yung sinabi ng chairman na Andy Reyes kanina umaga. Kanya sinabi that although justice will be served or can be served better if there is restitution, meaning may babalik ang pera ng bayan. So with that said, nagkaroon ng exchange of ideas between the different government agencies on how we can recover fast. Alam kasi ng lahat na para mapakulong ang isang tao may sala, dadaan tayo sa proseso ng justice system. Meaning, due process will have to take place, will have to be respected, and it will take time. Actually, it will take time because those who will be involved will have to defend themselves, the prosecution will have to present their evidence, and it goes to a process. Now, anong tinitignan nitong grupo na to, no? And if I may say, no, just tell you kung sino yung mga pumunta dito this morning. We had the AMLC, the BOC, the Bureau of Customs, the BIR, CAAP, COA, CICC, DOJ, DPWH, Insurance Commission, LRA, LTO, Marina, the Office of the Solicitor General, ECC, SEC, and PLP. Now, kaming lahat dito, no, nag-exchange kami ng ideas, gaya na sinabi ko, on how assets can be recovered and brought back to the coffers of the government and to the people. So, anong unang-unang napagkasunduan, there will be a technical working group composed of representatives among all these agencies who will meet regularly, or at least once a week, to update each other, exchange information on what they have and what have they done so far. In a way, we will be monitoring each other, exchanging ideas, and sharing information which may fast track the restitution of assets, no, or the recovery of assets, so I may say. So, with that said, I would be entertaining any questions from the press.
Sir, good afternoon. Are the authorities of these agencies enough to fully recover the funds that were involved in the anomalies, or do we need a decision or an order from the court?
No, this is administrative, no? So meaning in their own charters, meaning yung batas na either bumubuo sa mga ahensyang to, ibinigyan na sila ng authority to be able to do these their specific mandates, specifically on asset recovery. So, katulad kanina, na I may share, si Commissioner Ariel Nepomuceno shared to us that the 13 luxury cars with them, they found that there were some may mga kulang daw, no, sa kanilang mga papeles, which now gives them gives them the right for them to auction this. So in a couple of weeks, I think, upon according to Commissioner Nepomuceno, they're just going through the process of approvals with the DOL, and they will be auctioning this off. So in that case, there will be an immediate recovery with regard to these cars. Once mabenta din.
So, attorney, that means kahit wala pang guilty verdict from the court against these involved persons, pwede nang mabawi?
Yes, that's what the BOC said. They will be doing this in a couple of weeks. They're just getting the approvals from the necessary officials. Thanks.
Hi, Sir Lance po from Newswatch Plus.
Hi, Lance.
Shifting topics lang, sir, no? Earlier, Public Works Secretary Vince
Please stand up so you can hear.
But the camera, yung...
Oh, I'm sorry. Louder na lang. Yeah, speak louder.
Kanina, Sir, Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon says na iimbestigahan na rin po nila yung links ng mga diskaya and ng pamilya ni Senator Bongo or yung construction firm ng pamilya ni Senator Bongo. First, sir, is the ICI will the ICI look into this as well, and are we also expecting the commission to invite Senator Bongo because of this development?
We'll look into that. If there's indeed a need to invite Senator Bongo to the commission, then the commission will invite.
And sir, as just as a follow-up po, no, you placed other senators or you requested yung ibang mga senators na ilagay sa lookout order. So, if ever man the commission sees a reason for that to do as well kay Senator Bongo, ilalagay din po ba natin si Senator Bongo? Is there a chance na ilagay rin siya sa lookout order?
But as I said, the commission always acts based on evidence. So if there's sufficient evidence or information to request for an ILDO, regardless who that person might be, official might be, then we will request for an ILDO.
Sir, last na po on my end, no? There were some criticisms about the ICI kahapon nung sinabi ng mga diskaya na hindi na sila makikipagtulungan sa investigasyon. According to former Representative Teddy Casino, parang it exposed how toothless the ICI can be. Kayo po, what's your take on this? Does it say something about how powerful or how powerless the commission can be in this investigation?
No, it doesn't expose any weakness on the part of the commission because, as I said, we were able to get information regardless on who or from which source it may be. They invoke their right for whatever reason or based on the advice of their lawyers. But as I said earlier or yesterday, we will find means. We have other sources of information to get to the truth, to find out who are really responsible for these anomalous projects.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Glenn.
Sir Joseph po from Manila Bulletin. Sir, how do we determine kung ano yung asset na illegally acquired tapos legally acquired? And second is, mga ilang percent po kaya ng total asset nila ngayon yung makukuha sa kanila? Is it like 100%, 50%?
Well, of course, direct evidence would be the best. If a person, for example, a company or a contractor is mentioned and there's a corporation there, there's a definite link there. Then we will be implicating or naming that particular individual or corporation with regard to the freezing or the request for the freezing of assets with the AMLC. So that's the process. Now, based on the discussion earlier, this process will be handled by the Office of the Solicitor General, the Ombudsman, the DOJ, because before anything else, the freezing of assets would have to go through judicial proceedings, which is to the Court of Appeals. So, in that basis, sila yung gagawa ng ganong klaseng action, which I think it is very important. Kaya naging importante yung nangyari ngayon, no? Because we were able to delineate the roles of each of the agencies. And then, because of that, and especially with the TWG, we will now be more coordinated.
Thanks. Attorney John Garner from D7 po.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this was asked already, but magkano po yung estimated amount na balak natin bawiin or tinitingnan natin or gusto natin bawiin?
Yung gusto natin bawiin, hindi natin masasabi pa yan sa ngayon because it's a moving target right now. What I can share with you is a rough estimate according to AMLC that the amount of frozen accounts would be roughly around 5 billion, comprising of around 2,800 accounts. That was shared with me earlier this morning.
From how many individuals?
Oh, I don't have.
Sir, with regard to sa pag-freeze, may freeze order ang purpose is to forfeit later on. Tama? Correct me if I'm wrong, sir, pero yung forfeiture can happen if there's already a complaint before maybe that hindi ka nang bayad. Paano ba yung mechanics, sir?
Well, on broad strokes, I was discussing this with the Solicitor General, and she said that there's going to be the application before the Court of Appeals. Now, initially, if it is granted, they're given 20 days, and after that, another 6 months can be extended. And before, eventually, as the forfeiture proceedings or application is being heard before the Court of Appeals, these assets will remain to be frozen.
Okay, so it's happening independent of maybe criminal prosecution?
Yes, of course. These are all civil and administrative remedies that we're talking about. In fact, yun nga yung naging ano natin, no? Yan yung naging pakay nito kanina. This is different from the criminal aspect. This is administrative and civil remedies, which in a way will be shorter because it's not going to go as I explained earlier. It will not be going through the more thorough process of judicial proceedings.
Okay, so right now, sir, 4.6 billion yung last freeze order nila. So can we say na frozen? And is the AMLAC moving to forfeit it na? Or paano?
Yes, sunod na yun. After that, you freeze and then you have to justify to justify for future.
4.6?
I mentioned it was 5.
5?
Yes,
Ay, napito
here. 5 billion. 5 billion. Alright, last question.
Sir, in connection lang dun sa tanong ni Lance earlier, yung doon nga sa mga nagsasabi na toothless ang ICI with regards dun sa pag-atras nga ng mag-asawang diskaya. Kasi parang at the thing sa publiko, anyone pwedeng pumatras, umalis, o hindi makipag-coordinate sa ICI kapag gusto nila. So ano ang gagawin ng ICI with this naging action na po ng ICI? Pwede po ba kahit sino na iniimbestigahan ng ICI ay umatras na lang din ng gano'n po? Lalo na kung sila ang prominent sa investigation nga po ito.
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, karapatan nila yan, di ba? In fact, even in the Senate or in the Congress, if a person invokes that right against self-incrimination, they have to respect that also. So, in a way, I don't think that will label the ICI as toothless, because that right is being invoked also in other investigative form.
Sa POC, 13 vehicles, Sir Senator mentioned when nila i-auction.
No specific date, but they said that it's going to be in a couple of weeks.
May possible, amount that we can possibly collect.
I don't know because definitely kung auction it, we don't have an idea yet.
For the public lang. So ito ay effort to recover until something from the stolen money ba yung restitution?
Oh yes, of course. Pagka forfeiture kasi, ibig sabihin, these properties or this money is not actually theirs, but was taken from, was in a way, not theirs, and probably proceeds of a crime.
Sir, is that the 5 billion small for the tens of billions na
But of course, with what we've been hearing so far, that 5 billion is not comparable to what we've heard so far. That has been, in a way, what they call it, in a way, stolen from the coffers of the government.
What does the running to? Could be bigger, the 5 billion.
Okay, probably as we go down, it's gonna be bigger.
Sir, how about other assets po aside from the 13 luxury cars? May moves din mo ba natin? Kasi obviously hindi naman.
That's going to be studied and looked into, because definitely there's going to be a challenge of that, because these people might not have actually put their names in those titles.
There's scope lang. Because of the one na kayo po. So ang mga napo-cover po ng investigations are projects in Bulacan, Oriental, Mindoro, or are there any other areas na pa?
Meron pa rin pa, iba-iba all across the country, no? But right now, as I mentioned earlier, we're focusing on the 421 ghost projects. So, and I think it was shared with you on how per region, di ba? So, mostly, nasa Luzon ang concentration.
Pero sir, yung
But
na-hear
doesn't
na
mean that we're not gonna go to the other regions.
pero yung na-hear na po natin, covers Bulacan projects in Oriental, Mindoro lang.
in a way, based on the personalities invited, talking of the DPWH officials, that's on the north, on the Luzon. So we're talking Bulacan. So with regard to the other personality, we had to do more on the budget preparation. Correct, last time.
Last from my time, nabanggit kanina ni Secretary Dizon na pwede na na-expect yung kasong isasampa sa mga Vizcaya. Kasama na ba din yung recommendation ng ICI?
From our end, we're still continuing our case build up, but it's there already. Be patient. We'll be filing them soon. Not necessarily against the Vizcayas, but as long as we complete the evidence, regardless on who the persons who might be responsible for this, we will file. So there's no need for us to wait.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir, schedule lang bukas. Schedule bukas.
We'll share it with you.
You will get a nation advisory.
Okay.
You will.
Okay.
Sir, last one. Transfer from this.
Last na. Okay.
Sir, nabanggit mo kasi yung option na yung 13 hours in disguise. How about those surrender voluntarily surrender by price na sir, like
I think check kung alam pa naman natin mabuti kung ano yung naging mga papeles niyan. Kasi doon sa 13 na yun, na-confirm na kulang-kulang yung kanyang mga papeles. So there's a right, or there's the BOC is authorized now to go further.
Pero po voluntarily surrender dahil kami yan from corruption, sir. So,
Okay. Titingnan pa rin muna natin para sigurado tayo.
Sir,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.